Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Eldoria, there lived a young girl named Rosebel. She was the daughter of a nobleman, Lord Everard, who had raised her with love and kindness. But fate was cruel, for her mother had passed away when she was but a child, and her father, longing to bring joy back into their home, remarried a woman named Lady Selene. At first, Lady Selene seemed gracious, but her true nature was revealed when Lord Everard fell ill and passed away. Left in her stepmother's care, Rosebel's life became a sorrowful tale. Stripped of her fine gowns and confined to the servants' quarters, she was forced to cook, clean, and tend to her stepsisters, Anastasia and Lilith, who delighted in tormenting her. Despite their cruelty, Rosebel remained gentle and kind. She found solace in the garden her mother had once tended, whispering her dreams to the flowers. Though she was treated like a servant, her heart held on to hope that one day she would find happiness again.
One fateful morning, the kingdom of Eldoria was abuzz with excitement. A royal decree had been issued. The king was hosting a grand ball in honor of his son, Prince Alexander, who sought a bride. All eligible maidens were invited, and the woman who captured the prince's heart would become his queen. Lady Selene's eyes gleamed with ambition. Anastasia, Lilith, you must be the most dazzling ladies at the ball. The prince will surely choose one of you. Rosebel, standing quietly in the corner, felt a spark of longing. May I attend the ball as well, stepmother? She asked timidly. Lady Selene let out a sharp laugh. You? A servant girl? What a ridiculous notion. You have no gown, no jewels. Who would look at you? Anastasia and Lilith sneered, echoing their mother's cruelty. Perhaps we can fashion her a gown from the rags she cleans in, Lilith jeered. Heartbroken but unwilling to surrender her dream, Rosebel turned to the one place she had always felt safe, her mother's garden. With tears in her eyes, she whispered to the wind, "Oh, if only there were a way." As if answering her plea, a soft glow appeared before her. A woman, cloaked in silver, stepped forth. "Fear not, dear child. I am your fairy godmother, and I have come to grant you a wish." Rosebel gasped. "A fairy godmother?" The woman smiled. "You shall go to the ball, my dear, but first we must see to your attire." With a wave of her hand, a shimmering gown of moonlight and stardust enveloped Rosebel. Glass slippers adorned her feet, and her hair cascaded in golden waves. A carriage, crafted from a pumpkin and drawn by enchanted horses, awaited her. "But remember, Rosebel," the fairy godmother warned, "this magic will fade at midnight. You must leave before the final chime." Filled with gratitude, Rosebel stepped into the carriage, her heart fluttering with excitement. As she arrived at the palace, all eyes turned to her. None recognized the beautiful maiden who stepped through the grand doors, but Prince Alexander's heart leaped the moment he saw her. He approached her with a charming smile. "May I have this dance?" Rosebel hesitated for only a moment before placing her hand in his. They danced beneath the glow of the chandeliers, speaking as if they had known each other all their lives. The prince was enchanted by her kindness and grace, and for the first time in her life, Rosebel felt truly seen. But the clock struck midnight, and panic surged through her veins. She pulled away. "I must go." "Wait, at least tell me your name," the prince called, chasing after her. But Rosebel fled, her glass slipper slipping from her foot as she disappeared into the night. Prince Alexander clutched the glass slipper, vowing to find the woman who had stolen his heart. A royal decree was issued. Every maiden in the land was to try on the slipper, for he would marry the one it fit. Lady Selene, upon hearing the news, smirked. "We shall make sure one of my daughters fits that slipper." Meanwhile, Rosebel sat in her attic, clutching the other glass slipper. She had danced with the prince, but now she was back in rags, wondering if it had all been a dream. The days stretched on, and across Eldoria, the prince and his men traveled from village to village, from noble estates to humble cottages. The anticipation grew with each passing hour, and young women lined up in their finest dresses, eager to try on the slipper. But as the prince watched the desperation in their eyes, his heart longed for the kind and gentle maiden he had danced with. He knew she was unlike any other, and he would not rest until he found her. When the prince's envoy arrived at Lady Selene's estate, Anastasia and Lilith eagerly pushed forward. They forced their feet into the slipper, but no matter how they tried, it would not fit. "Is there no other maiden in this house?" the prince asked. "Only a servant girl," Lady Celine snapped. "She is of no consequence." But Rosebel, summoning her courage, stepped forward. "I would like to try." Gasps filled the room as she descended the staircase. The moment her foot slipped into the glass slipper, a hush fell over the crowd. She reached into her dress, producing the matching slipper. "It was me, Your Highness." Prince Alexander smiled, kneeling before her. "I knew I would find you." Lady Celine's face drained of color. "This cannot be." But the truth was undeniable. The prince's guards seized Lady Celine and her daughters, stripping them of their wealth and sending them into exile for their cruelty. Rosebel, however, remained compassionate. "I do not seek revenge. I only wish to be free." The kingdom rejoiced as the prince and Rosebel were betrothed. The grandest wedding Eldoria had ever seen was held, and Rosebel, no longer a servant, walked down the aisle as a queen. As queen, Rosebel used her kindness to better the lives of others. She opened homes for the poor, encouraged education for young girls, and ensured justice for those who had suffered as she once had. Years passed, and Eldoria flourished under Rosebel and Alexander's reign. Their love only grew, and they raised their children to be wise and kind rulers. As they stood on their balcony watching the sun set over their kingdom, Alexander took her hand. "You were never just a servant, Rosebel," he said. "You were always meant for greatness." She smiled. "Not greatness, Alexander, just happiness." And so Rosebel's story became legend, a tale of love, resilience, and the triumph of kindness. The end.